Good weekend. Good afternoon to my viewers out there if you're at home. I am making this video to remind everybody about the good grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and how this year is important for the rest of humanity as well as myself because it is the year that we get closer to our Lord and be close to those things that really matter, which are heavenly things and not the things of the world, which are the things that we will have in the next life, which are the things that we will carry with us when we pass on. These are the things that matter, and these are the things that have always mattered, by the way. But it seems like a lot of people have lost their mind. So we're here. I'm just making this video to calmly just suggest a few things, get a few points out the way, and maybe even vibe with a couple of people that are viewing my channel. Yes, I am not playing Modern Warfare, even though the title might say that. This is a weird, video. But anyway, don't mind the background. Don't mind the background. Okay. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to do a few suggestions. First of all, who are you guys voting for? I don't want to talk too much about political or economy or things like this, but I hope you guys vote for Jesus. You know what I mean? But honestly, 2024 is a special year of our Lord, and it's supposed to be for. If you didn't know, I'm a Catholic. Hip hip hooray! Um, I'm kind of late to the game. I was lost, but I delve into the spirituality of a rather religion, and but now I am, if I would refer to anything specifically, I am a Catholic. I mean, I was born that way, but I went on my own, sort of trying to figure things out myself, and but by the grace of God, the calling has been answered, and I have found my way back to church. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing. Which I would suggest everybody, especially if you're watching my channel, you should do it. I know most of you viewers might be young, you might be in another country, but if you are, the younger you are, the better to instill those habits from a young age. We are habitual creatures. And so the younger you are, these things help you fulfill things spiritually. And once you grow those habits, I'm gonna tell you, it's the best thing that you can do is to do it young, because when you get older, and if you don't have these things instilled, then it's a gland for punishment. You know what I mean? When you learn bad habits, you know what I mean, such as not being thankful. I mean, when you learn bad things, it's just like when you have too much of things, especially if you're young. If you have all these things desensitizing us, you know what I mean. And my mother would force you to go to church, so I'm gonna force you to go to church. So I hope you go to church. If you didn't go to church tonight, you go to church tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And if your parents don't go to church, then you should just go to church. If you could drive, you should go to church yourself. I mean, your local church. And if they don't go to church, so you should convince them to go to church. And because it is a good thing, and this year is special. Like I said, it's a year where you can re-encounter God and be and ask for the forgiveness that He gives, because we are all sinners and we all need to forgive each other. Well, we got to learn forgiveness and repentance and salvation, which are the best things about God is. Well, I'm just telling you to seek forgiveness, repent, and seek your salvation. Just that's what I'm telling you. And those are the type of things that a lot of people forget. You know what I mean? And I just, I lose my cool sometimes, but without God, I would be a lot worse. I had bad habits instilled to me when I was young. I mean, not because of my parents, but it was the way I was raised, the things I experienced, stuff like that. So, which led me to a long journey, right, with the long way around, right, which is where the bad road, the bad path that the devil wanted me on, left me lost, completely abandoned and lost in a dark abyss. And so, but God found me back, and I reeled me back in, and I'm now getting on that. I'm on that right path again, where there is where I still feel like myself, like when I was young, which is why I'm tying it in. Like, it's like when I was young, I had some plans for my future, and sometimes I feel like I can't really truly grow up. Like it's something like a mental block that stops me, prohibits me from actually moving on or actually being happy or anything until I start doing those things that I wanted to do when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And that's how lost I was, because I had planned things when I was good, when I was young. I wanted to go to, get a PhD and go to Harvard and stuff like that. Wanted to be a math major. Like I love math. You know what I mean? And then I also like politics. You know what I mean? And so it was just like, those are the things. And, obviously NASA and, astrology. But, those are things that are like science or whatever. But specifically rocket science and astrology, flight and, those things. I wanted to be an astronaut too. Like, that's what I'm saying. So the point is, I guess, is that all those things of the world are mundane things. Those things are not gonna last. You know what I mean? Those things don't really matter. The parties don't really matter. Good times and good memories matter. When it's healthy. But what I mean is, like, when you go to parties, like like on the club every Saturday with a new girl, or trying to find a girl, or whatever. You know what I mean? When you're or when you're wasting time just doing things that are not beneficial for yourself. Those things, like, we're all consumers, right? And sometimes these things like death scrolling, that's a bad thing, a bad habit that a lot of people have, and it's so you got to break out of those things in order to get your life together. And I think we're coming around. People are opening their minds, because ironically enough, the people that believe in Christianity are the open-minded people. The people that don't believe in it are closed-minded, but they want to believe in it. So when you see somebody like an atheist or somebody telling me, I see a lot of people on TikTok, not in real life, but in TikTok, well, not really, but in TikTok, people feel ballsy. They feel like they can say whatever. And all this narrative and nonsense that goes on in the world, leaves these delusional people that are ignorant, talking all this stuff. So one of the things they say is like, if you ever see somebody say like, explain your God if he knew, why did he create us if he knew we were going to be sinners? Like that's one of the things that atheists say. They're like, why would he create Adam and Eve if he knew we were going to be sinners and stuff? He's like, maybe because it's like, that's a very interesting question. And understand that when a person asks these type of questions, they're looking at it from their viewpoint. You know what I mean? And they're acknowledging God, but they don't. The story doesn't make sense to them. So they're. It's almost like they want to come in, but they're not. They can't, because they want to defraud it. They want to be blasphemous and all these things, and that's when they really have dug their foot in the sand, and they really, and at that point they're just trying to rock your faith. You know what I mean? And I think that this goes along. This happens a lot when you're not going to church, and you don't really have a like. Ironically enough, most of the people that try to debunk Christianity know a lot about it and acknowledge it. They just don't understand it. They need something more. They need proof, like scientists or something. They need scientific proof or something. And it's like, it's funny, because it's like, maybe one of the reasons why is for you to come to the faith. You know what I mean? For people like you that need those things, to come to the faith. It's a calling. I mean, God has them there, standing in front of them, waiting for the truth to look at them. You know what I mean? Right in front of their face. But they can't, because they're delusional. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some things they can't understand, like perspectives. You know what I mean? And it's funny, because like, you got to read it with an open mind. You know what I mean? If you try to start making, if you're closed minded and you're like, I don't believe this, you know what I mean? I can't look at this way. Then that just means you're closed minded. You know what I mean? Right? I learned that today. You know what I mean? You got to be open minded about this, about religion, especially about Christianity when you read the Bible. But what I'm trying to tell you is that most people are ignorant, closed minded, and that's such a sad way to live life. But it also leads to like the lack of empathy, lack of love, lack of humanity, lack of happiness, joy, and hope. You know what I mean? It's a very nihilistic point of view, right? When you're closed-minded, yes, you can be smart. You're a scientist. I mean, scientists did create the atomic bomb and the nuclear bombs that we have now, but they didn't ask these questions. Like, they made the bomb and then they gave it to the military. They didn't ask themselves whether this was a good thing. Well, they knew it wasn't a good thing, but they still did it. And I think part of it was ignorance because they were forced to do it, but also it's that closed-mindedness where they didn't ask themselves, well, you know, I mean, imagine if the science community is to blame for the bombs and the nuclear weaponry that could destroy, that has killed thousands and maybe millions. You know what I mean? Should the science community be exalted, or shouldn't they take the blame for that? You know what I mean? And they're like, no, we were forced to do so by the military, you know what I mean, or whatever, nations and stuff. You know what I mean? But it's the ignorance that they have where they don't, where they gotta, personally, I think that they have a lack of morality if you don't have God. And I think anybody would have a lack of morality when you don't have God or religion. And I think that the forefathers of this nation agreed with me, the founding fathers rather, or whatever. They would agree with me, because a lot of people, they believe in God, but they don't really show it. They don't really understand it, or rather, they have a misperception. But anyway, I hope you guys, enjoyed whatever this video was supposed to be. Hope you guys are doing good. And so another thing you want to steer clear for in this day and age that I learned is the Olympics. Should be banned. If you wanna really if you really want like a good path to go to, don't go to these things. Go to the opposite of these things. I'm gonna tell you what to boycott. Boycott the Olympics, BET, MTV, E News. You know what I mean? All these people that you see, right? YouTuber influencers like Mr. Beast, rap, hip hop. You get away from all the things that you love, that you think you love. Those mundane things that keep you in a loop. You know what I mean? When you're young, you have time, you have opportunity, and so you have energy, but these things keep you in a loop. You know what I mean? And you're just a consumer, so that's what you don't understand. That some of these things come across to you for the hopes that you'll be their consumer. You'll be a consumer for them, their customer. And I know that kids from a young age, they're bombarded with propaganda. That's what this country runs on. And all these companies and stuff, and I know that this is a new, in the last decade or two rather, this is uncharted territory when we have technology and we don't really ask ourselves again, whether we should allow this to be happening. And so that's why there's a lot of people walking around that were, pretty much the first of their kind, that were pretty much test subjects. We've been a lot of test subjects, and that's just a theory about technology and then integrated into our lives and how we are I look at this because a lot of people don't know this, but the rest of the world has computers. The rest of the world has the arsenal to study and to do the things that supposedly the first world countries such as the United States used to do. When they was on top, when it was the number one, when they had this educational system. Everybody wanted to come to America. America had the brightest, brilliant minds. But why? Because they had technology. They had computers. They were the first, one of the first nations that had computers. Bill Gates. You know what I mean? But if you haven't noticed, the rest of the world has that now. You know what I mean? That's why they come over here. In other words, you're not just in competition anymore with yourself. Like that is you're also competition with people from all over the world. You know what I mean? We are not number one because we all have now an equal, more equal playing field. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, that's what you got to understand, that the jobs that you go for now, what's going to be, well, this is promised, this is a promise. One of the major things that is going to be a commodity, or rather going to be a luxury in the future, is intelligence. You know what I mean? And you better have some. You know what I mean? Or rely on a leader that will help you guys out, because I mean that's what I want to do, because I mean a lot of people don't help me out, and I think that, I'm not saying I'm dumb. I just hate the way things are run, because it doesn't work for me. The way that things are run are run for people that are fucking dumb and that didn't know shit, and that they needed a 9 to 5 job. I mean, the way things are run now, like that's why people become exceptions, because there ain't no rules. You know what I mean? You have to understand that you have the I understand this just like you should understand this, that we have in my community, capital players, we have the opportunity to amount wealth, you know what I mean, like never before, using technology with no precedent, no limit. Like almost, there's certain things that people haven't tried yet, and there's certain things that people that don't have a precedent for, and these things are beneficial to humanity, and it's always should be looked at as a tool. You know what I mean? I always said that about computers and stuff ever since I was young. It was always a tool to do something, right? Like, to enhance your, everything can be a tool, but the computers are something that is a tool that can help you maximize your business. You can get rich. You can learn, educate yourself. You can contact people and build a network of people. You can, be creative and create something. You know what I mean? And it's just like everything. You know what I mean? And so, your phone, you could do the same thing. So the point that I'm trying to make, I guess, is that one of the things that I've learned, right? I'll recommend a couple books while I'm here too. I mean, one, the Bible, but I know that a lot of people, save that when you want to be spiritual. You know what I mean? Which you should be spiritual at least, once a day. You know what I mean? But obviously, classic, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I like this one because you got to actually apply these things to your life. I got some other books. I got some for selling, whatever. But the point that I'm trying to make is that like if I had kids, right? Like one of the like, I don't care about I want to have the money, but that's not the most important thing for me. The most, and just like with people, right, that I care about, see, this is the dilemma with spirituality, is that, even says so, you can't really worship money and Jesus and God at the same time, because you can only have one master. So if you didn't know this, priests, Catholic priests, they actually, they don't get paid much, and they make a vow to, live, almost, like, to not think about money. You know what I mean? They don't get paid much. You know what I mean? For what they do, they make a vow to have that type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because it's most of the proceeds that they make should go to the church anyway. It's past stoicism. It's noble. You know what I mean? It's more than what most people could handle. And so, they should be really regarded in amongst other vows, but they make a vow of that as well. In some Catholic churches, I don't know. But that's what it is. And so the point I'm trying to make is that, a lot of people might not understand things and, judge you for what you don't have and whatever. But they're like, oh yeah, you got your car, your house got repossessed or some shit, whatever, people might be going through. The point is that the truth is that just like a mustard seed that is this small, right? When before it's watered, but when you plant it, it's just this small, right? Nothing that exciting. But when you plant it in the ground, you cover it up with dirt, and you add water and air, and sunshine. You know what I mean? That little seed begins to sprout, and it begins to grow, and until it pops out the ground, and it starts blossoming and flourishing, and it just builds and grows into this huge, you know what I'm saying, tree, right? One of the biggest trees that gives shade to, a lot, of others, beneath it, and squirrels and animals and everything, these things, birds, it has all this branches, and it branches out, and it just is just huge, and this big, trunk, and this big, you know, um, center of the tree and stuff, and it goes tall, right? And it sways, and it's this big thing, right? And it all started from that seed. So just like that seed, you matter. Even though you're simple and you're small and whatever, just like a person is when they're poor, or when they're in a certain position in their life, or they don't have much, or whatever. The point is that just like that seed, I mean, the tree would have never came, if it would have never been if that seed wasn't planted. And just like that seed, you matter, and whatever you do, and you matter no matter who you are, no matter in what situation you are. You can grow and grow in the things of God, and grow in the things that are great, and you can serve God, and you can do these things to, I mean, you matter, and you can become something awesome, something great. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in classism. I don't believe that rich people and privileged people, preferred stock, should have more benefits or be louder, or they can have more rights, more privilege than common stock or poor people, or lower class or medium class or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? That is something that is not part of my religion. You know what I mean? It's not part of my religion. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Because even people that are in religious groups and they go to church, they also speak in this manner. Like, if people are lesser, people are greater than others, and what I mean, we're all children of God, and God knows all of us, and God understands our illnesses. God understands our shortcomings. God understands our limitations, and understands everything about us. You know what I mean? And we're all children of God. I mean, so there is nobody that's better or worse than somebody else. You know what I mean? We simply have we can simply grow and hone our skills and give them to God, in order for God to work through us and stuff like this. So we just, we all have our strengths, you know what I mean, in certain things, and we can all grow our strengths in certain things as well. You see, that's when I start thinking spiritually, but even, that's just how I feel. But yeah, you matter no matter what, man. Like, whatever you're doing, you matter. Just like that seed, one day you're gonna sprout, you know what I mean, and you're gonna be big, you know what I mean, and that's what you gotta remember. Don't let nobody, put you down or talk down to you, patronize you or emasculate, or, what I'm saying, try to bully you, or anything like that. Unlike trees, we can actually move around, and and if somebody's talking or trying to put us down, you don't have to. One of the things that I appreciate it. I say thank you with somebody that tells me some stuff like that. I say thank you. Or I don't really say thank you, but that was a lie. I'm sorry, but I mean, in my mind, retrospect, I say thank you because those people tell me those things, those truths to my face, but it allows me to, I can use it. You know what I mean? I use it, but I also know that, this feeling that I feel, it stems from them. You know what I mean? Like these things that the way they make me feel, like when there used to be a time when I was younger and I used to be happy and happy-go-lucky and everything was good and all these things, and it's like the people that I hanged around with when I went to school and all these things, I used to be happy, I was in my own world, I used to play video games and just be an introvert, mama's kid, and go to church and have church friends and what I mean, those were my only friends because those are the only people that my mom allowed me to hang out with. And then, what I mean, and then when I went to church, I mean, when I went to school, I met other kids, and then these other kids, and. But the point is that when people started bullying and people started talking and they made me feel a certain way, they kind of like made me feel inferior. They got, I was a nerd. I didn't know how to feel embarrassed until I went to school and I saw people embarrassing me, like, oh, you wear glasses, and started bullying and picking. And I was like, that feeling that I got, what I mean, when I first got bullied and when I first got I was poor. I liked this girl and she was like a cute girl. She was like, goody two shoes. Like everybody liked her, and she's so flirtatious, and she got everything she wanted and stuff like that. She was like a little, like not like a little spoiled brat, but more like a little girl that everybody cared about. You know what I mean? In retrospect, me, I'm just like whatever. But the point is that I mean. Like when you're a kid, you can charm your way. You can charm yourself through situations like adults, and you think adults are dumb because I got what I wanted. I mean, just be nice and smile and act like you're innocent and stuff. Act cute. You act cute when you're young. And what I mean by flirtatious. I mean, and well, she was like one of those girls that got everything she wanted. Anyway. The point is that when I felt humiliated, whatever, I remember like those I had never felt those emotions like that. There's some when you're growing up and you start feeling these things, and it's like now when I'm an adult I can realize like a person tells me something that makes me feel bad. It's just like I'm sorry you feel that way, but my life is awesome. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like that's like literally like like I once had somebody say like, "Why are you always happy?" I'm like, I mean, I could list you like a thousand reasons why I'm happy right now. You know what I mean? Like at all times. You know what I'm saying? But then I mean, not to say I'm always happy, but at any given moment, I can, in my natural state, I can. But when you start thinking about things like when people like, for example, here's an example. Women tell you to grow up. You know what I mean? Act your age. People tell you this stuff, and they're like, they tell you this stuff like you're talking like a 12-year-old kid. You're 31 years old, man. You're talking like a 12-year-old kid. I'm like, look, I'll be like, look, man. If we get invaded and some red dawn things come through, you know what I'm saying, and we're put in situations, you'll see how much a man I am. You know what I mean? If we have to go through situations, just put me in a situation where, and I'll show you how much of a man I am. You know what I mean? But I don't. It's not a crime to be innocent and to talk. You know what I'm saying? Innocently, like a kid. Because the only people that were truthful and innocent were kids. I mean, the only people that say the truth, the only man that ever said the truth was a kid. I mean, and that's not a crime. You know what I mean? So when women tell me some stuff like that, they're like, "Oh, grow up" or whatever. I realize like you're making me feel mad. Like you're making me really mad. You know what I mean? Because I ain't doing nothing to you, and you can't boss me around. So the way that I talk, right, is like like playing video games or Twitch streaming, whatever. That's none of your concern. You know what I mean? Like, it's what makes me happy, right? And so, in my life, if that's how I want to be, it's not a crime, It's not a crime. Unlike cheating, which is what most women do, right? But it's like the nerve, the audacity, you know what I'm saying, of people trying to tell you to be a liar. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? You want me to be like, I'm a grown man now. I'm 40, depressed, and an alcoholic, and like I don't like. I tried to grow when I was young. I grew up. I grew up a screw up. Got introduced to the game by the ounce and blew up. Now I'm playing. But I was introduced to a lot of bad things, and it made me really grow up really fast. And I realized that I wasn't able to grasp, and I wasn't able to enjoy my time when I was a child because everybody wanted me to push me to be a man. And it's like it's encouragement, but then from one time it becomes encouragement to it becomes emasculating when you have no idea what I really been through, what people really go through. So I mean, look, the point is that you'd be surprised, you'd be surprised what people go through, and they don't dissimulate it, they don't emulate it, like they don't tell you that, oh yeah man, look, I've been through this and that. I mean, no. Like if I want to be innocent and I want to talk how I want to talk, that's how I'm going to talk. I mean, if people want to have a problem with that, then I don't care. Simple as that, and you shouldn't either, because like I said, there's life's too short for you to be upset, and whatever people think, it's not a crime. No, but the reason why they say that, women don't understand this, but all men are friends, on a certain level. All types of men are men are friends. Like I say that, loosely because there's people out there that hate the world and hate people, and there's people that are bad. But like, as a man, if I get in a chat room with a bunch of men, I don't really care what goes down. I mean, it's not gonna affect me. It's harmless fun. I mean, gaming, harmless fun. All these people, they lost their mind. Because nobody tells them nothing. That's how nice we are. I mean, the reason why men got hated on is because we were so nice. I mean, that's why they stomped all over our stuff. I mean, like our gaming. They took over social media, all that stuff, and feminism arose. We let them do that stuff. I mean, like, we let a girl cheat, and we were like, well, you're a piece of you're a piece of work. And I don't really, I thought you were different. I gotta go. Bye. And I can't do adultery. Matter of fact, I'll pray for you. But the point is, we were nice. We didn't shame them. We didn't blast them on the internet. Most of us. Well, I didn't. I let them. I didn't shame them. I didn't ruin their next relationship. I didn't tell their mother, which I should have. Should have told her mom and her dad, like, did you know what your little woman, what your little girl's doing? Yeah, do you know what your daughter did? but in reality, you know what I'm saying? We were just nice. And that's what happens when you're too nice. People like women, feminists, take advantage of it. When you're too nice and stuff. And that's common sense, right? That's, man, what? Anyway. People will just take advantage, not necessarily just women. But I'm tired of being nice. People, I think that, God, one thing I love more than, humanity and people is God. I love God. And God doesn't play that. He doesn't play that. He ain't trying to play these games. He ain't wasting his time on you. You don't like it, and bounce. And don't call me when you need some help. Especially if you cheated on me. Especially all these exes, right? Don't call me when you need some help. Call the guy. See, God is a jealous God. He's a jealous Elohim. And this is what this is just what it is. And so, loyalty, and for me, I think loyalty means a lot. It means everything. It's the difference between being real and being fake. Is loyalty. You know what I mean? And with loyalty, you get love. I mean, love is love for your friends, love for your peoples. That's strong. You know what I'm saying? That's the strongest type of love there is. You know what I mean? There's love for your friends. You know what I mean? And so, I've always been down. Nah, but I do want to meet some awesome people out there. You know what I'm saying? I know that this is impromptu and whatever, but I think that we could make a difference in the world if we build a community and stuff with capital players. You know what I'm saying? We talk about money, economy, how to make money, how to better yourself as a man, maybe like a lifestyle type of thing. I mean, if y'all got ideas in the comments, y'all can leave them in the comments. But the idea, right, is to, make some gains out here, level up, you know what I'm saying? Take y'all on a journey and kind of see what we do, and, as we level up and do all these things. Yeah, because we got to stick together. We got to stick together. Sometimes we all we got. And as we go through this journey together, you know what I mean, I will try to make things a little bit interesting. I'm not the most interesting person in the world, probably. I don't know, but maybe something will surprise you or illuminate you, at least inspire you in some way, to do something good. Yeah. So, one of the things that you want to do is invest in yourself and not stop investing in yourself. Apart from taking care of what you need to take care of, if you got extra money, it's good to invest in yourself, your education. Never stop learning, right? So when I tell my kids, right, if I love them and whatever, so I tell anybody, it's never stop. I mean, first of all, you're worth it. No matter what you've done, God forgives. No matter where you are in life, you're worth it. And just like that little seed, turned into the big mustard tree or whatever, the tree obviously is majestic. It's big and it's worthy of something, recognition. But that seed was where it came from, and without that seed, that tree wouldn't exist. And so that tree matters just as much. But the seed mattered more. You know what I mean? So no matter where you are, whether you got $1 million or you don't, or whether you got nothing, or whether you're homeless, or you're in a dark position in life, or you don't got nothing. You know what I mean? You still matter. You know what I mean? And you're still worthy of greatness. I mean, you're still capable of greatness. And so just remember to prune yourselves. I mean, the bad things. So recommend going to church, which is what I'm doing, pruning myself every week by going to church. But same thing, you don't wanna be involved with weeds, because weeds kill plants. Thorns, all these things. This is a parable that's in the Bible. It kills things. So gotta stay. That's why I say pruning. Stuff like that. Very deep stuff that I learned, man. Okay. Anyway, if you're playing video games, right, it's the equivalent to don't leave me on the battlefield. You know what I mean? When you're playing with lobbies, man. It's like playing with randoms nowadays. Don't go through life like if you're playing with randoms. You know what I mean? Because that just sucks. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like I said, capital players, we'll talk everything about business, everything about economy. Whatever I have on my mind, I'm going to speak it. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys start leveling up, work out, eat right, start taking care of yourselves, cut out the junk, you know what I mean? Social media junk, now's the time. I would suggest this year, and I say year because I mean months, weeks, for you to get closer with the Lord, with God. It's a beautiful thing, and our God is alive, and He's with us, and He, you should go through that experience at least. You know what I'm saying, see what it's about for you, if it's your thing or not. But God is good always, and it helps. One thing I guess I wouldn't suggest to do is don't go in there close-minded. Go in there open-minded. I mean, you know, if you question things, you should question it. I mean, that's just if that's your nature of questioning things, then I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that can turn into some strong faith one day. I mean, and you would question people that try to tell you otherwise. You know what I mean? You could one day that great mind could be put to use for something to dig deeper, to reach deeper. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what else? Basically, that's where we at. So let me spit this freestyle, I guess, because I got nothing else to entertain you with. Um, Actually, I don't want to spit this freestyle. No, I can't freestyle right now, bro. There ain't even no beat. I ain't even in the mood. Tired. So boycott the Olympics. Don't be a Karen. No snitching. Boycott police and courts and stuff. But I mean, look, just keep going through your life for whatever you're doing. But just if you're ever in a situation where there's something that's going on and you can handle it as a citizen, then don't get the police involved. Okay, the police are people that you shouldn't trust. Oh, and if you ever get stopped by police, don't ever talk to a police. All right, remember your amendment rights. Don't talk to police. Don't answer anything. They are not your friends. I know they try to act like they're good, but they're not. Okay, even if they try to jam you up and they try to tell you that you're guilty of a crime and they try to coerce you, do not break. Do not submit to them. Do not talk to them. They are not your friends. They will try to say, "Oh, I'll get you off on a lesser charge." I know that you did something and whatever. And like, if you explain to me right now, like if you admit to this other charge, lesser charge, you get a lesser sentence and whatever. Like, I got you. Like, no, don't ever admit to anything. Don't ever admit to anything. You are all innocent until proven guilty. Okay, in the court of law. Don't ever, ever, ever say admit to anything. It doesn't matter. You can be drunk, stumbling, but do not say you drank. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Don't. You're not guilty. Don't. The cops aren't your friends. They will try to act friendly. That's part of their tactics. But they're not friends. You hear me? The first cop that I ever freaking had that I learned this from when I was 14. No, I was actually 12 or 11 or 13. I was in 6th or 7th grade. I was walking to school and a cop stopped me and he said, "How's your cousin doing?" I said, which cousin?" He's like, "The one that's in jail." I'm like, "I didn't know my cousin was in jail." He's like, "Oh, aren't you part of the clique of boys that we arrested over the weekend that we had that operation on?" I'm like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "No, like I'm definitely not one of those kids." And he's like, "Oh, I know it is you," and whatever. And so he started incriminating me, saying that he started accusing me, right, that I was part of a drug cartel syndicate, terroristic network. You know what I mean? Is what he said. Like he said I was MS-13 selling drugs, and I was like 13 years old going to school. Walking towards school, and he stopped me, and he was like doing traffic, and he told me these things on the side of the street. You know what I mean? And he was accusing me of these things, and I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." So then he said, if I'm pretty sure it's you, right? And it's like, "I know that your friend got busted with a lot of weed. I know that you're part of it. You know what I mean? But and I could arrest you because if you don't tell me the truth." But I'll do you a favor. You do me a favor when you go to school, and if you see anything, you'd let me know, and then I'll watch your back. And I said, "Hell no, I ain't gonna be your rat." You know what I mean? Number one, but what he was trying to do was coerce me by trying to accuse me of things, falsely accusing me of things. This was one of their tactics, and how it started, how the conversation started was like he's like, hey, and I was like, oh, hi, I was like, hey, officer, you know what I mean? Like if he was a friendly guy, you know what I mean? They're not your friends, you know what I mean? No matter if they're smiling and they say, oh, look, you can trust us, we're cops, we're good, really good guys, they are not your friends. I mean, it was, that got me when I was young. That's why I was 14. That was the first interaction I got with them, when I had with them. I thought they were friends. Oh, my mom tells me to look up to you guys. Oh, I want to be a cop one day. Blah 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 blah. You guys are brave. You guys are you're the ones that protect us and whatever. We rely on you guys. Yeah, the fuck right. He tried to coerce me the first conversation that I had with him. He called me a drug dealer. He said that I was part of a crime syndicate terroristic network. And he said that my cousins we had all gotten busted over the weekend, and that they were in jail, and that I needed to give up the rest of the guys. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And then he coerced me and said, I'll let that slide and whatever, and say that you weren't part of their group if you tell me what's going on and who's selling drugs here and who got it here in the school. And I said, I'm not gonna, I'm like, what? You're fucking insane. You know what I mean? And then he put me on a gang list, and ever since then, every time I went to school, I felt like everybody was treating me different. And it was so because when I went to the teachers, they said, oh, Mr. Maldonado, I know that I heard that you're part of this gang. I'm like, no, I'm not part of no fucking gang. The fucking cop out there is fucking out of his mind. Okay, you know what I mean? And they didn't believe me, and they treated me like that all through middle school, which means that the resource officer that's on campus would walk into the classroom and look at me and say, you better not cause any trouble to any of these kids. You know what I mean? And he treated me like that every year. And that shit followed me all the way to high school. And when I went to high school, so by the time I got to high school, these motherfuckers were conditioning me to be a criminal. You know what I mean? They were institutionalizing me to get in that prison pipeline, which is why I'm telling you that they need to be abolished, and they ain't shit. And if you're down with the pigs, then fuck you, get off my channel. You know what I mean? Because they need to be abolished. And like I said, they did all this stuff while all of you guys are pacified, and you believe their narrative. And then when they brainwash us, they indoctrinate us. It's like the devil trying to entrap you, and they suggest you to do these things. It's like this spirit that possesses you to do these things because they're treating you like that. They're waiting for you to go for the bait. You know what I mean? They're waiting for you to fuck up, and they want you to fuck up, and they keep drilling it to you to fuck up, and they keep ostracizing you from the rest of the group so that they can get you jammed up. You know what I mean? That's what they do, and that's how they get their numbers. That they create criminals in this nation. You know what I mean? And I wanted to go to Harvard to get a PhD. But like again, that fucking pig in 7th grade told the teachers that I was a gangbanger and whatever. And I was just a nerd. I was an introvert, mama's boy. I wanted to go to PhD. I was a nerd. But because of his actions, of that first police, the rest of these other cops, the rest of these other kids suddenly thought that I was this criminal too, because they convinced the little white boys and girls and the rest of the classes, the little white boys and girls. They were the white people. Okay, they're all fucked up. They're indoctrinated. They look at the conservative news. You grow up and you realize, holy shit, these fucking guys are pagans. They're fucking atheist motherfuckers. They're gay motherfuckers. Like they're the Babylonian. Damn, these guys are insane Satanists and shit. You look at the European insanity that they got. They create these huge empires and they go to war and they fucking enslave people and shit. Like fuck these. You grow up and you're like, what the. These guys are insane. The white man. But when they're young, they look at the little conservative news that is racist, right? And they don't tell you that, and they don't understand that when you're young, that they're racist, But you grow up and you realize how many racist people there are in this world, and they're adults, and they talk racist stuff to kids. I mean, they don't like your kids. They're like, deport, go home, go back to your country. I'm like, you're an adult, bruh. You know what I mean? That means when I was a kid, there was people that were like that. They don't want us, and they're cursing us. They're cursing us as kids, and they're adults. You understand what I'm saying? And even the pigs were working for them. They have the same sentiment. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, these people here are racist, but not only that, they gang up on you, and you're a kid, and they're the system. You know what I mean? And like, what are you gonna do? You can't do nothing. Nobody trusts you. Nobody believes you. They pacify the rest of the kids, indoctrinate them, brainwash them, and then when they fuck up your life, and then later they're like, "You see, guys, we were right. He was a criminal." And then when those same kids look at me, and even though we went to the same schools, walked the same halls, ate at the same breakfast table or whatever, or or we went to ate the same food, their lives are vastly different from mine because they weren't profiled and harassed and coerced. You know what I'm saying? They weren't treated like a criminal, and they were obviously, the majority used to be racist towards us. Back then, there were more white people, so that they used to be mad racist everywhere we went. It was really sad. You know what I mean? But the point is that I was taught racism in schools. They segregated us in schools. That is a dangerous thing, and critical race theory should be abolished too, because you're not just white, you're not just black, you're not just brown and shit. I mean, those are just hues, the colors of their skin, but that doesn't mean nothing. That doesn't mean shit. That just means that you fucking might have to have a different shampoo, maybe. But that don't mean that does not mean jack shit. They try to classify you in these situations, and critical race theory makes you think like that's how you should be identified as. And like a white or black or brown person. We're all people, right? So if we have a respect for each other's culture instead of our race, instead of our skin pigment, then that would be more beneficial. That'd be more respectful, to actually respect people's culture or whatever. But like, again, the people that run the show don't really care about those things because you're all consumers to them. They just care about giving the mass consumers. Anyway, you know. Don't believe it. I don't believe in cops, bro. And so, from that, that they really so that's why that's what they did to my education. So that's why they like go to school, because I know I get judged. When I was a kid, I used to skip school a lot. I wanted to learn, couldn't learn in school because I went to school. Kids would be fucking jacked up on some shit. I don't know what the fuck. They were always obnoxious and rude and shit. I couldn't learn nothing in the classroom. I remember this one time I was in a computer class, and he was economy. No kidding. This man, bruh, he was older. He was speaking as loud as he could without screaming, but he was speaking clearly, like if he was in an orchestra, speaking about something that he was saying that I couldn't listen. I was trying to listen to him. I couldn't hear him. And there was people out of their seats jumping around, even running, like they were throwing right in front. Like, I remember it like comical, like people throwing, pieces of paper and shit, like right in front of him. You know what I mean? Like, these black kids who like to play basketball at the gym, and I just said they're black, but whatever. Like, they were black, and they throw papers, in the gym, and they were just like throwing papers like that, like they were still in the gym classroom. And like right after lunch and stuff, like, wow, dude. And like everybody was just out of their seats playing music on their computers and shit. And it's like, wow, like I couldn't learn a dang thing he said. And ironically, it happened to be economy class, which is like supposedly the most important thing, the only class that mattered. And I couldn't learn a fucking thing in that class. As to say that, what I'm saying, I get mad, and I'll tell you I'd be like, man, what the, I could have learned in school, and I'd get in trouble and stuff, but I didn't even like to go to school. That's why I didn't like to go to school. Don't do that. If you're gonna do anything, if you're gonna skip school, just read the books when you're young. Read the books and do the work yourself. You skip ahead, get it all done. turning it. Bow. I mean, it's better, man, because like you gotta read the books anyway. A lot of people say that math doesn't. I think everybody should take math. You know what I mean? Math is so important. Math is important if you want to be successful. Math is important for finances, for business, for economy, for personal finances, for investments, for it's important for everything. I mean, numbers. It's important for programming. It's important for computer and technology. It's important for mastering physics and the ways of the universe, nature, Fibonacci sequence, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I'm single, by the way. You know what I mean? I'm reserving myself for a wife. I mean, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but whatever. Death before dishonor. No, I'm playing. No, actually, like, it's just like the type of girl I want. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what type of girl I want. I want a girl who is elegant looking. You know what I mean? Elegant looking, who is a good as person inside as she is outside. I want her to be preferably my height or taller. Like, I wouldn't mind going out with a bombshell model. You know what I mean? But I want her to be someone like who understands, right, that people change and people can become better people. You know what I mean? It's like I guess the technical way that they worded it. This is common sense to me, by the way. The technical word is that they are open to self development and they have the capability of self development. You know what I mean? And to become better people, right? And I used to think this, like, when I was younger. I was like, this is common sense, right? But that's the type of girl that I'm looking for, like a girl that's willing to learn, willing to listen, willing to develop, to change, and be good, be better, because a lot of people, when I was when I had girlfriends when I was younger, they didn't want to change, they didn't want to listen, they didn't want to do nothing, they didn't want to obey me, just disrespectful. And they ended up getting lost in the sauce, and I think they became lesbians because last thing I know is like some girl told them to leave me, and they did. So I guess they're lesbians. I mean, if you listen to a woman who tells you to leave your man, then you're a lesbo. I mean, like, that girl's a lesbo. Telling you to break up. I mean, why would they tell you to break up with your man? Like, I never understood this stuff. Like, I never understood dating because, like, like, you say you love somebody, then you like you it's like you don't finish what you start, and then it's just dumb. You know what I mean? Like, you don't finish what you start, and then you try to make things like you get a new person, and you try to make things good with them instead of making it good with the first person you were with, when that first person was perfectly capable of changing into whatever. I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you try to replace people and shit. That's just fucking stupid. And it's like the more things that you go through, right? More like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so traumatized by you. Like, the love could have been even better, even stronger. You know what I mean? The love could have been even stronger between you if you would have tried to make things work. But no, these girls are like, no, I throw in the white towel. I gotta leave. And they're like, the devil, they're victims and shit. There's the devil telling them that. It's the devil that tells you I'm a victim. It's like, it's been 20 years. I mean, like, it's been 5 years, 10 years. I mean, how's you, like, only the devil could keep something like that hovering over somebody like that for so long, or inside of them for that long. You know what I mean? and it's like, that harbors resentment, vengeance, what I'm saying, revenge and hatred. You know what I mean? Like it's messed up. I mean, um, I don't believe in like a lot of things. Like I know I sound kind of spiritual. I would suggest people to do a fast and to go get into nature, disconnect. You know what I mean? Like one of the things I like to do is go to camping and just turn off my phone for the weekend. Just go over there, just lay in the tent, get out, lay in the sun. I don't know, go jump in a river. You know what I mean? Walk around, build a fire, look at the stars at night, just chill. You know what I mean? And like those type of things. Walk through nature and admire its beauty. You know what I mean? Things like that. But I'm not a the streets try to drag me down. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say. Just hope you guys. Oh yeah, I know my the title of my story is "Donate for My Lawyer." I know it's not really a long story, but I will have you know that the this country used to be free, and every now and then, I mean, they're just taking more rights away from us. We need to put a stop for this for our children's and for our children's children. You know what I mean? When a man can't sit in his own car, and relax, then cops are up to no good. But again, it goes back to the people. You know, if there is absolutely no reason to call the cops. You know what I mean? If you can handle if you can talk to somebody, and you can handle things civically, then there should be no reason to call the cops. In 2024, it's a damn shame that people have to use the cops. But if you don't know me, I'm gonna tell you right now that cops should never be involved in stuff like with me, bro. Like whatever qualms you might have, we can squash it. We can settle things outside court. Try to be that person. You know what I mean, where you don't have to get, whenever you get into something, be a man of your word, be upright, be decent. You know what I mean. For these are the things that matter, right? These are the things that allow you to handle things civilized instead of needing cops to get involved. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter, man. It's just about I'm sick of Karens, bro. I'm so sick of all these. I'm sick of a lot of things. I hope that Kamala Harris does not win. I hope that Donald Trump does not win. Hope nobody wins. Because look, now we'll get political. Kamala Harris, bruh. Okay, Mrs. Montel Williams. Like, I don't even know. She came out with Montel Williams, dog. She was twerking or something. I don't know. Looked like a groupie the first time she came out. And then she don't even have kids. She married a white dude who she cheated on, I think. I don't know if it's been disclosed, but she cheated on him. And then, or she cheated on one of her husbands. I think it's the only husband she got. She was a prosecutor, and she locked up people for weed. But I think she used to smoke weed, and you know what I mean. But being a prosecutor in itself is like, oh, give me a break. I mean, like you're part of the system. You went against your own people because she likes to say, oh, I'm black and I'm a woman and your plight is my plight and our suffrage is together and all that stuff. She never said those words, but that's what she's trying to say. You know what I mean? And it's like you're like we're on the same side. And it's like you were a prosecutor. You know what I mean? Like you were a prosecutor. You know what I mean? You locked people up in jail, in the prisons, those dungeons, you know what I mean, for weed, you know what I mean, and shit like that, and you smoke weed. Every black person does. You know what I'm saying? And like, you're a damn Judas. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like that's the type of stuff that really we're not. I don't see eye to eye with her, bro. I don't see. Like it's like that's like feminism trying to tell me that we're in this together. Like no, bitch. No, we're not. You know what I mean? You are on your own with that. You know what I mean? Like you don't care about kids. You don't care about husbands. You don't care about your own counterpart males. You don't care about your communities. You don't care about families. You don't care about what I mean. Hell no. You know what I mean? You gave billions of dollars to the racist eugenic programs like Planned Parenthood. All right, you submitted yourself to the regime, the oppressive police, corrupt police force, and punitive system, and you sacrificed your brothers and your fathers and your brothers and your sons to the police. I mean, that's what you did. You killed your sons. You killed your men. You know what I mean? You are on your own with that shit. You and the devil. That's you and the devil. You don't represent shit for us. You know what I mean? Like we're not in the same struggle, bitch. I don't know what the fuck you think I don't know what the fuck you told people. I don't know what the fuck you think this is, bitch. You are a snake. You know what I mean? And like that shit. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I don't have time for this nonsense. But they try to say that shit. They try to say, "Oh yeah, man, like women and feminism and shit. Like you're for us, right?" I'm like, hell no, bitch. The fuck. You destroyed your men. I mean, you like how can I put this? How can I say this more clearly? Other than you destroyed your men. You know what I mean? Like we were nice to you. We were patient with you. We were giving to you. We were generous with you. We were man, and you betrayed us. You know what I mean? Like how I mean, shit. How could I mean, how more clear than that is it? You know what I mean? How more clear than that could it get? Like I don't know who you was mad at, but who you ended up fucking up was your own people, your own community, your own families, your own friends, your the males, your brothers, your sons, your cousins, your father. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. I mean, that's crazy. Like, I'm not down with any feminists. I mean, feminists is then they try to bring back abortion. Why would I be cool with that? No, you're fucking hell no. Y'all ain't shit. I mean, y'all ain't shit. The people that they have right are the people that are selfish. I mean, because Christianity, their belief is that you should have a kid, and they will make you so selfless and such a child and such a servant of God that if a woman gets raped, she'll have her kid and she'll be like, "This is my son now." You know what I mean, and we're in church and we're gonna go to church. This is my son. I mean, this is my bastard son. I mean, and even if she got raped, and you know what, she would still love him because she understands that it's a child of God. You give the child to the Lord, and then the child becomes a son of God. And guess what? Jesus didn't have a biological dad. He had Abraham, but Abraham was supposedly he never had sex with Mary. So the point is that anybody can become the only father that you should acknowledge is the one in heaven. Is the Holy Father. So, God doesn't like when kids are single orphans because their biological dad wasn't around. I mean, so they come to God. He takes them in. They become children of God, and so in the Christian community, I mean, there's people with all type of backgrounds, but we all treat each other good. You know, we're all it's like we what's the word? We know it's supposed to be we're what's the word? Mm, we acknowledge it. No, we're not delusional. What we are is not delusional. We're not a fallacy. Like, like the feminism, right? They say, the people that feminine again. Look, I have to explain this, right? Maybe feminism, right, stemmed from girls who were rebellious and people and bad men who pretty much couldn't control them, couldn't guide them right, whatever. But they're by their own volition, they created this like stupid, feminism, and this feminism was there actually it was there for them to provide for themselves, right? It was there for them to work and to get jobs and to be able to vote and to be alongside men. But really, man, I just feel as though like it's the man's fault because I think the man kind of messed up and they didn't really do what they were supposed to do. They were a little bit too worried about the money and or something else. I don't know. The point is that these women, they started to, go a little bit. They started linking their suffrage movement with other suffrage movements, and until to the point that they became delusional. And they like what they do is just complete nonsense. You know what I mean? It's just like doesn't make any fucking sense. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like for you to say that you don't need a man is preposterous. It gets to the point where a woman goes to eat with other women like a lesbian, asks where are all the good women at, are the good men at when they're eating alone. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? They wait till they're 30 and I mean and to have kids and they already ran through. You know what I mean? They leave relationships, they leave love. You know what I mean? They they say no to their husbands, but they say yes to every other man in their life. I mean, like, say yes to the plumber, the mechanic. Oh yes, sir. Okay. They say yes to the police, to the governor, to whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever man out there, they say yes to, and then they say no to their husband. They say no to the man that they are supposed to listen to. They say yes to every other man except the man that they're supposed to listen to. You know what I mean? Like they're so disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like a girl cheats. Oh wow. I think about this. A girl cheats on Instagram. She fucking said yes to his come when he's coming on to her. She said yes, not just accepted his friend request, accepted his message, replied back, said yes, that's okay. Said you want to meet up? Yes. You want to like oh okay. Said yes, 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 yes. That's how she cheat. That's how they cheat. But to her man, she says no. When he says don't wear that shit, she's like no. He's like you can't go out with your girl. She's like yes I can. You want to go to the vacation? No. But then you say yes to every fucking man out there. You're a dumbass. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just sick of it, bro. Women can't go. Women can't even walk around without like. They can't go on one vacation for a fucking week without them losing their mind, and when she comes back, she will be totally brainwashed. Too much sin has happened. There's too much influence out here. Too much traps for women, for women's brains. There's too many traps out here. Feminism, gay people, Satan. You know what I mean? Satanic people. I mean, they're like at an all-time high. I mean, like. These women, they leave your side for a week. Good luck. And come all brainwashed and shit. And they're going to come back like, I'm gay and shit. I'm a lesbian. I didn't know. I must leave you now, husband. It's over. We're getting a divorce. I found out I was a lesbian when I was on my trip. You know what I mean? What the fuck? I mean, too much fucking sisters traveling pants and Twilight for you, bitch. I mean, you need to chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? But that's the type of that's the type of society we live in. You know what I mean? It's like you can't even tell a girl anything because feminism done fucked it up because they gave you up to the regime. Y'all sent us to jail. Y'all destroyed our lives. You know what I mean? Fuck you. But that's what they do, man. That's why it's so sad to live in this world right now. You know what I mean? But it needs to be destroyed. I mean, I think we need to surpass. We need to, do these things. Like a man should be able to provide, but see, that's the thing, man. Ugh, because it comes back to money, right? Yeah, we should be able to like, but what? It's not fair. Look, women told us men to get out the way for women, to be nice to women, to give them the resources. So we let you in. And then later, all the shit. So you chose, you wanted to go to college, you wanted to do the shit. You didn't want us to go because you were always trying to fucking, fuck us up. And then they told us to take it easy on you. So we let you go. We let you get those resources. You got your hands on them. And then you came out on the other side. You breezed through college. Everybody treated you okay. Like I said, everybody treated you okay. Well, the majority of society. You know what I mean? Everybody let you slide. Everybody took it easy on you. And then you come out on the other side, and what do you become? What are you when you come on the other side after you go through your education and you go to high school, being the popular girl and all that shit, fucking dudes, and then you leave and you go to college and you do whatever fuck. You know what I mean? Like whatever fuck. What do you come out being at the end of college in the mid-20s? You know what I mean? Or or early 20s and shit. A fucking thought, and you want to go to clubs and shit. Then okay, they let you do it. They let you fucking act like you're a rock star and shit. And all these privileges that you had, right? And what do you become? A baby killing, lying, manipulative, fucking destructive woman. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's not even for your own benefit. Because then after 10 years, you're crying. You're like, where are all the good guys at? Once you realize that you were delusional for thinking you deserve a 6'5", green-eyed, you know what I'm saying, genetic fucking experiment, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, or specimen or whatever. It's like, yo, that's crazy. Like you like that's what you think, you know what I mean, and that's delusional. Delusional. It's crazy. You know what I mean, so you fuck up relationships that even when you're 18 or 19, and you're like, you're stupid. I mean, for fucking up that relationship, then you wake up at 30. You're like, I guess I didn't get my millionaire guy. I guess that he had other bitches. Now what do I do? You're not that smart. You know what I mean? Like I said, women. Look, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be real with you, cuz. You know what I mean? I'm the same as an 18-year-old girl. You know what I mean? Right now, in one way, which is like, I feel like a rock star right now. And when girls were, and when girls were 18, they feel like a rock star. But why do they feel like a rock star? I don't know. Maybe because I can grow a full beard. Maybe because I can say whatever I want and nobody can tell me shit. Maybe because I got experience and I know what I want. Maybe because I've worked hard. I mean, I can work hard and I can get myself anything I want, like money. I can do anything I want. You know what I mean? And people gonna respect me. You know what I mean? If not, I mean, I'm a man and I'm proud and I'm confident. You know what I mean? And of what I can do. You know what I mean? And a woman that's like 18, right? She's confident, but in another way, because at that point everybody treats her like a rock star. But it's not because of the same reason. It's not because she has experience. It's not because she's smart. It's not because she has money, or it's not because of this and that and the other. It's because of her looks. It's because of her looks and her age. That's why they feel like rock stars at 18. Understand what I'm saying? But then you have to judge them for what they do with that. So what did they do when everybody had them up here, feeling like they were all the way up here? And what did they do in their 20s? Well, I look back and I say, hey, once they became 30, they started dipping a little bit. Why? Because they're getting older. They're not 18-year-old broads anymore. So their market value goes down. But all of this is just mundane talk. It's just red pill talk. But at the end of the day, all of it is bad. And what really it is like, they become this type of woman that are destructive. God forgives and everything. But I'm just saying, like, I personally don't, like, I want to just say, like, I have no patience for that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like the way that they talk to me. you know. Yeah, I mean, I had to survive this long, right? And I lost a lot of things over women and stuff. So one of those things is like, I can't. I mean, I'd rather choose to go out with an 18-year-old girl, than a 30-year-old girl, because, well, if I have my shit straight, like if I have my money straight, ooh boy, I'm gone. You no. Yo, if I get my, when we get our, when I have my money straight, you bet your ass that I'm probably not gonna be, you know what I mean, trying to chase these mediocre women. You but there was a time where I was like, I would date a 18. I mean, I would date I wouldn't date. I would marry, a 18-year-old virgin chick. You know what I mean, over a 30-year-old, sexy. You know what I'm saying, whatever. For the simple fact that I care about certain things more. Whether that's wise, I don't know. I mean, shit. Because, I mean, like I said, what I would tell my kids is knowledge means everything. Knowledge is a commodity, really. It's a value. It's going to be worth a lot. You know what I mean? But spirituality matters. God's word matters, and you know. But yeah, I gotta admit though, Candace Swanepoel is a bombshell. I just want to, like, raise her up at a bar. I mean, at a hotel. You know what I'm saying? Banquet or whatever. I mean. Sorry. I mean, I don't know where that came from. Nah, but like, I just think like a girl like that was beautiful. Whatever. I say kind of because she was beautiful. She was beautiful when she was young, and she was beautiful like all her 20s. That's the kind of chick I like, and she's still beautiful, right? But she already has kids, and she left that man. Sad. I mean, what? So, something else you should do. Something else about myself. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it, man. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time, and have a good night, I guess. Good morning, wherever you guys are from. Shout out, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube. I'll be putting the link soon. Have a good one, man. And stay up. And remember, praise Jesus. Be strong. But remember to love one another. Remember that love conquers all. Love conquers all. And just remember that. Funny story of my mom, love conquers all. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to leave it at that. True love. Thanks, guys. This has been very good.